Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to MNW Firing Line, your guide to Multiverse Nexus Wrestling. I'm your host, Jerry Aldini, and with me, as always, is Pete McPherson.
Hello.
And good evening, everyone. Hey, Pete, how are you doing this week?
Oh, hanging in there. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. It's an exciting time in the multiverse. We are on the, we've pulled out the Traveler's Guide to Multivania. I think we found
the first words on it say "Don't panic." No, wait, wrong book.
Wrong book. Yeah, no, the Hitchhiker's Guide to Multivania. No, that's what a great title for a future episode.
Jot it down.
Gonna remember that one. Anyway, yeah, no, this has been a fun
Bring
week.
a towel.
Yep. Ooh. Times we need one around here. So this week in outside of the Nexus, once again, a friend of the community, Marty Casillas, had another match over at AEW. This time against...
He did?
Yeah, Jungle Boy.
Heck yeah.
I thought it was a pretty good match.
It was. He cut, I think it looked like he cut his lip up or something.
Yeah, something. A little blood at the end, but, not bad. But, we got to
a little blood never hurts anybody.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Marty's a crazy man, so. Yeah, no,
this is true.
That was pretty good. And this was a good week. I know that the wrestling world was all up in arms about the end of Blood and Guts, but I'm like, they went out of their way to show you that everything was fine. I heard that the biggest issue was in most locker rooms are like, why can't we do this stuff? We could do this stuff. We can put on this content. But no. But where we can put on some of this content like this? Right here in MNW, where anything goes.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, no. And so we might as well get into the show proper. And this week started off with a clarification. A lot of people have been asking the question of how exactly was Tiki the Troll saved? And for some more information on that, we go to the man responsible, the chocolate zombie, Graven.
Some of my own life force to help Tiki get some of his back. And so right now, not only am I lay it out for everybody who seems to be confused as to what exactly happened. Fey poison is not like your typical poison. It's not as simple as building a cure and fixing somebody. So yeah, Tiki's fine. But there was a price to be paid for that relief for Tiki, and right now, I'm dealing with that price. Let me explain. You see, Kathchina informed me before I went on my little quest that even if I found all of the ingredients, it was still going to take some of my own life force to help Tiki get some of his back. And so right now, not only am I dealing with that, there was no true cure for what happened to Tiki. So while he's better, I'm not. I guess you can call it the law of equivalent exchange, but that is besides the point. The reason I'm out here is because the brass has decided that because I'm not at 100%, I don't get to wrestle. That means I don't get to participate in this freaking narrow open challenge thing, which is BS. So here's how this is gonna work. you're going to clear me for action, regardless of what my health is. Because I'm telling you that on my worst day, I could beat anybody in that locker room. Anybody. So all I'm asking for is a shot. So you either give it to me or you know what's going to happen. Mark my words.
And with that, the Chocolate Zombie laying out the challenge. He wants in on the qualification for that 8-man special showcase match to be a contender for the title. And that's something that it's like, even though he's admitting he's not in the best of health right now. Also, thank you to Hartley Reaper for gifting a Tier 1 sub to Super Saiyan 630. Thank you very much. So I guess we'll have to see if the brass is willing to let Graven wrestle despite his admitted health issue. And this leads me to another question, Pete. And that is, how does life force work for a zombie? Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah.
So, but that, on the other hand, who better to share life force than us? I don't know. You know what? I don't get into the physics stuff. If we want that, we'll reach out to like Mike Davis.
Or Mike Davis.
Mike Davis. I mean, it's if it's scientific, I'd talk to Dr. Caliban. But if it's metaphysical and this sounds, maybe I need to talk to both. You know what? Above my pay grade. You know what we're going to do instead? We have a showcase match. Always a fun time. The showcase matches, which, as we've been saying for weeks, have been growing in importance. It's gone from, this is just a chance for wrestlers throughout the roster to give a chance to show off, to the bragging rights have become, well, how many showcases have you won? Giving them weight. And with that, this week's showcase features the Crimson Phoenix from Apex, Aqualung from Vaporwave, Hutch Kale from the Cartel, Dragoon, loosely affiliated with House Caliban, the Curator from the Guild, VR Junkie from Electro Reality, the Madness from Mad World and the Cartel, Sheepy from AAA, and there we have our 8. And you notice these days everyone seems to be aligned with some group.
Come and enjoy a fabulous show and meal. Certainly good to have the head.
No one seems to be going wholly on their own.
Right. Well, strength in numbers, it's hard to ignore.
That's true. That's true. And with this, the match, after going on for a while, eventually Sheepy tries to get a hug it out on the Madness, isn't able to get it, but Aqualung is able to eliminate Dragoon, so the Lone Ranger, the first out of the match.
And that was quick. Aqualung with an elimination.
But then, right away, right after that pin, as the action continues in the ring, with the Madness going after the Crimson Phoenix, and VR Junkie outside the ring going after Hutch Kale. And then finally Sheepy going after the Curator. Finally, the VR Junkie managing to get the pinfall on the Mandalorian. Which, again, the
impressive win.
Yeah, you've got to remember, Sheepy is the powerhouse, really, of AAA. Just a strong wrestler, enough that the Curator decided it would be worth focusing on on him. Meanwhile, the VR Junkie, after having eliminated Hutch Kale, decided he was going to make a go for the madness. Same time that we get this little mashup outside the ring. Meanwhile, the Curator still focused on Sheepy. And that's and eliminating him. It's interesting because Curator, being one of the members of the 2-win club, looking for his 3rd win to put him in the more rarefied company.
And no, not going for it again. Oh, look out here!
So at this point, you've got the VR Junkie content to let the Curator work on the madness before going into themselves, but outside the ring, the Crimson Phoenix getting a pinfall on Aqualung.
Aqualung has been eliminated.
And in the meantime, the action of joining the action in the ring, Curator outside, taking a rest, while the VR Junkie working over the madness. A few minutes later, while everyone's down, the VR Junkie gets a strong slam on the madness. And after a 3 count, the VR Junkie with, correct me if I'm wrong, Pete, that's his 3rd elimination in this match. VR Junkie having a very strong performance.
No, this is true.
And that strong enough that both the Curator and Crimson Phoenix work on him. Then the Phoenix dumps the VR Junkie basically on top of the Curator, stuns themselves, which the VR Junkie decides, all right, I'll take this moment to take advantage of where I am. Getting, by my count, his 4th elimination of the match, leaving only the Junkie and the Phoenix. And VR Junkie, yeah, sure, it makes sense. He's very focused here. He's looking for a win here in the showcase because he doesn't have one yet. Neither does the Crimson Phoenix. So either way, we end up with a new showcase winner. And it turns
Someone
out
gets to move up on that list.
Yes, and with that, the Crimson Phoenix winning their first ever showcase, getting on the list. And as we've said, that list is becoming one of prestige. Everyone wants to grow. Now, the trick is, well, you've won one, Phoenix, but you know what? A lot of people have won one.
Yeah.
So far, overall, you have a total of 44 wrestlers have at least won one showcase match. But it becomes a much more rarefied company trying to get into that 2-win match, 2-win bracket. So we'll wait and see if the Phoenix can accomplish that. In the meantime, I am being directed by the production truck that I've got a text, and it's let's see, it's Graven. Let's see, it's from Kathgina saying that Graven could be made into better health. That, however, would also come at a cost. Just ship Wilson back for a day. No one will miss him, or give me Jagger. All right. And with that, a good, strong showcase match to start off the show. But not to be deterred, we have another match. One of the big questions currently standing is, who's going to face Doom for those trios belts? A lot of people have been making a lot of strides, but Doom has been getting, they've been going out there, they've been doing singles action. But events conspired for Doom to come out as a trio. So, Michael Macabre, Zericus, and Mad Jack come out to take on the aristocratic Canid and the Princedom, Sir Percival and Sir Reginald. First time we've actually seen Sir Reginald in months.
Yeah, it's been off the radar for quite a while.
For a bit, yeah.
This is one fall to a finish.
And with this, now this is not a traditional trios match as if it were going to be for the belts, because those are usually elimination matches. This match was one fall to a finish, and the Princedom taking on Doom. This uphill battle for the Princedom. Doom is Doom. They're one of the most accomplished tag teams in Flashbang. They are veterans of the ring. They hold the gold, and the Princedom is a established tag team, but they've never worked with the Aristocratic Kenned before. And as we like to say here, if you're not a tag team specialist, you're usually at a disadvantage in these kind of matches.
Well, not just tag team specialization, but also just, when you're that extra person in the mix, you don't have the camaraderie, you don't have the experience of working with those other people.
No. But maybe there's advantage in the fact that they are all, I guess, upper crust. The Princedom do seem to be very regal fellows, and the Aristocratic Kenned is aristocratic. And Reginald just seems bad. Reginald has been going after pin after pin. I think that time on the shelf has made him really looking for a chance to prove himself in the ring. Once again, and you see, right after somebody else, just constantly pinfall attempt after pinfall attempt by Reginald. It's really worth Doom's effort just to keep an eye on him. And breaks that up. And Michael McCabre seems to be doing the heavy lifting in this particular match on breaking up those pin and submission attempts.
Oh, look out here! They're in trouble now.
And then, thank you to Zymocyte for the raid of 4. Welcome to MNW Firing Line. I'm your host, Jerry Aldini, with Pete McPherson, and we are going over last Friday's Flashbang episode. Currently looking at a trios match, and the Sir Percival finally managed to actually get the win. I guess using the distraction of everyone keeping an eye on Reginald. What does this say, though? This new team that got put together for this match managed to score a pinfall, well, a decision over the trios champions. Even though they aren't an established team, it makes one wonder: are they going to perhaps move to the front of the line? Well, we'll have to see what we can find out about that. In the meantime, Phyllis in the production truck is flashing the code D, so we know what that means. We better pick up the phone. Hello, you're on Firing Line. Which member of Doom are we speaking to this week?
Greetings, gentlemen. It is I, the Night Reaper.
Zericus, welcome to Firing Line. What are your impressions from that match last week?
For one, Sir Reginald coming back from a, albeit elongated hiatus, surprised me. He was a very tough competitor in that match. The Princedom as a whole, while new, they, I believe, are now at the front of our line for those who can challenge. But let it be known, this was a one-time event. We will not lose again.
Fair, and I suppose it bears repeating, as I said at the top of the segment. This was not a traditional trios match in that it was a single fall, not an elimination match. So certainly you have more experience in the traditional trios defense.
That is correct. It is how we took these belts from Doom. That's us. Our belts from VIP.
Yes. And with that, so looking forward to, so obviously there at the top, we've discussed in the weeks, we of course know the Empire has impressed with a victory. House Caliban has impressed. So right now, it looks like there is at least 3 potential contenders for your trios belts. I'm sure erasing the sting of that loss would be at the top of your mind. But who else would you like to see? Or which of those competitors do you really think is the most deserving of a title shot?
Personally, I believe it to be House Caliban, as much as I'd love to give it to the Princedom, or whatever they're called now. They are still too new to be truly in the picture just yet.
All right. So with that, as we wrap up this segment, is there anything else you would like to tell the Firing Line audience, Zericus?
Yes, only 2 words. Click Doomsday.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Zericus, 1/3 of the Trios champions, looking for a competitor, looking for somebody to actually defend the titles against. All right.
I don't know how to feel about how he's the least intimidating person to show up whenever we get the code D.
So I guess, I suppose, after a while, Nightmare Demon, Pumpkin King, Bringer of the Apocalypse. We have them on, they're here all the time, and they're, cordial.
Well, and they don't mess too much with the ambient temperatures.
True. Very, very true. Well, with that, we should go ahead and move on. And speaking of temperature, or a segue into cold-bloodedness, the next person we will be hearing from last week is the World Heavyweight Champion, the one and only Nero Napier.
A heavyweight title reign that was not just, or indeed a worthy challenger. One of the oldest and most experienced competitors in the multiverse. A founding member of MNW, some might say. But with your experience has come age. You're slowing down a bit, aren't you, Helix? Years of wear and tear on that body. A heavyweight title reign that was not just heavy on your body, but heavy on your soul. It's not easy carrying an entire company. Believe me, I've done it for nearly a year. And you see, that's... Nero, I'm glad you're out here so early. You are actually part of my announcement. So there seems to be a little bit of confusion, and apparently not everyone watches Firing Line. I thought maybe your wife would inform you. You see, Helix will not be in that 8-man showcase match, unfortunately. All that work, and he gets nothing? Why, was he drafted back to Warzone? Did he have to pull out? Or does he want to give the chance to his little orange buddy? No, actually, Nero, he has not pulled out of the match. You see, the brass has thought over your 8-man showcase match, and they like the idea, so they are going to approve it as the main event of Multivania. But Helix will not be in that match because he will challenge you one-on-one for your title, and that winner will be in the match. We had a deal, Lawson. If I win or lose, I'm still in the match. Not that I would ever lose to Helix, but you are starting to pull shenanigans with me, and I am the wrong man to cross. Helix doesn't deserve me one-on-one more than anyone else does. They should be lucky I'm being so generous. You are indeed being generous, and I am also being generous to a man that, as you say, has experience and is a founding member of MNW and has earned the right to challenge you one-on-one. And if you successfully defend, only then will you be in this match. Do I make myself clear? That is my final decision. And I'll tell you what, Neelix, we'll do it in 2 weeks' time.
And there you have it. So we learned a lot in that segment. We learned that Helix Sucks will actually face Nero Napier in 2 weeks for the World Heavyweight Championship. And whoever wins that match will go to the main event at Multivania, which will be that 8-man showcase match for the title, which we are going to be seeing 2 matches tonight that are relevant to that event. The first of which is, so let me set up this next match. Well, first let's start out. Let's look at that matchup. But before we get into that, one of the contenders in this next match, well, we heard from him and his friend. Ladies and gentlemen, the Flashbang audio promo of the week. We give you the Bulldog Grant Martin and DeLuna 13.
Ah, Bulldog. I was expecting your call. I take it you want to go into this open challenge as well?
Oh yeah, I'm going for it. This is exactly what I needed to get the bitter taste of that rotten orange left in my mouth. I don't know about you, but after all we've been through for the past several weeks, we both deserve another chance at Nero's belt.
My thoughts exactly. In fact, let's make it a little bit interesting between the two of us.
What exactly did you have in mind?
It's simple. The one who loses has to pay the other's bar tab at Omega Pub for the next month.
Ha! You're on.
Alright then. May the best man win.
You mean may the best dog win, right?
Alright, Bulldog. Talk to you later, man. Well, you know, I have to wonder if he's going to join this tournament. If so, things might get interesting.
And with that, we go to this match, which features the gentleman of MNW, Scott E. Stevens, DeLuna 13, and El Pollo de la Muerte. So these are 3 of the top contenders in MNW, and at least 2 of them, people with a lot of issues with Nero Napier. And Steven starts out pulling a page out of El Pollo's book from the previous week of initially getting out of the ring and letting his competitors start doing the hard work for him before getting in and finally mixing it up with both of them. This is an interesting matchup because we already know that we've seen some great matchups with El Pollo and Stevens, both very strong submission wrestlers. Whereas you've got DeLuna 13, who is one of our top luchador, one of our top flyers. Not to look down on El Pollo's lucha heritage, but DeLuna tends to be more of the aerial specialist versus El Pollo's submission specialty.
DeLuna into the cover. Could this be enough?
And
head bouncing off that
Stevens,
turnbuckle,
well, Stevens is, of course, another one of our most sound technicians on this roster. He has been going through all members of Apex. And right there, you know, sometimes these matches can make strange allies.
Just Stevens and El Pollo, the submission specialist. And look out here, chicken wing.
And when they're usually right here, that chicken wing, a game changer, but it looks like a little too close to the ropes. El Pollo had to break. And these two, I mean, basically they have been posturing essentially for who is the biggest enemy of Apex. And both have strong arguments. El Pollo has been challenging Nero Napier since the day he got into MNW. And Scott E. Stevens has been targeting the Apex ever since the issue where he got Nero's good friend, Mr. Rabbit, suspended as general manager.
Ducks underneath and another DDT to Stevens, but he reverses.
The Loon, of course, the Loon has had a lot in his mind. There's still the outstanding matter of who paid to have CJR Killer steal his father's mask. And with that, a lot of emotions from all these people. But in the end, it is the gentleman. Now, one thing we didn't mention, Pete, what was this match for? The right to have a contendership match for the main event at Multivania without having to participate in an 8-man showcase to earn it.
Oh, so, free pass.
Free pass. But the question is, who does Scott E. Stevens have to face to earn that opportunity? That's a question that we have to ask. And so to maybe get some insight, or at least to get some game plan, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to MNW Firing Line, the gentleman of MNW, Scott E. Stevens.
Gentlemen, good evening, Firing Line audience. How is everybody doing this fine Thursday evening?
Well, of course, we're doing very well, Scott. So, triple threat match for an opportunity to have a singles match to earn your way into the main event at Multivania. You pick up the win. Do you know anything about what's the next hurdle? Who you'll be facing in that one-on-one matchup to earn your right to main event Multivania?
Not.
Are you there?
Yes, I said I do not.
You do not. All right. Well, I guess we'll have to see. So this is how many matchups? Do you remember how many matchups you've had with El Pollo de la Muerte at this point?
Not off the top of my head, but I also don't recall any time that El Pollo has actually managed to back up his claims that he is better than me in any way possible. Because, well, you saw it plain as day. I beat him again. And yet somehow he still gets thrown into the title picture. I don't understand it.
Well, Scott, with that, I guess the question now is, you now have a path to go after the belt, but we know that in 2 weeks, Nero Napier is going to face Helixux for the belt, and whoever wins that goes into Multivania as the champion. So I ask you this. If Nero loses in 2 weeks, what is your game plan in regards to the Apex Predator?
Well, as I am never one to look a gift horse in the mouth, until I see any reason not to, my sole focus is going to be making my way into that main event at Multivania. And at that point, if Nero is still the champion, fine. I will take great pleasure in being not only the first person to definitively defeat Nero Napier, but be the man that robs him of that heavyweight championship that he should have never had in the first place. Now, if I don't get that luxury, and Helixux walks into Multivania as the heavyweight champion, then I will simply do my very best to be the one to beat Death himself and claim the title as my own. Where does that leave me after that? I don't know. Do I care about Nero Napier after I'm World Heavyweight Champion? I don't know. I guess we'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it.
Fair enough. Well, with that, do you, as we are rolling up to the end of this segment, do you have any specific message you want to send out to the Nexus?
I was actually thinking about this on my way home from visiting my parents, who I've gotten to see for the first time in quite some time, because in my home universe we have a really scary pandemic going on, so I haven't really been able to see them. But now we're all vaccinated, everybody's safe, so I can finally go and spend some time with my lovely, wonderful parents. Anyway, so if I want to say something to the Nexus, this is something that I've really been thinking about a lot recently, and it's in regards to Nero, unsurprisingly, because let me just remind everybody that regardless of his species, let me just make that perfectly clear, Nero Napier is a fucking monster. Okay? It has nothing to do with the fact that he's a lizard man. I don't care that he's a lizard man. He is a complete and utter monster. He runs around acting like he owns the place because he's got Mr. Rabbit in his pocket, who he has been manipulating for as long as I can remember, and somehow he's gotten the entire Nexus to think that he's some great hero because he's fighting against the man who got his best buddy, his meal ticket, suspended. I didn't even do anything that bad to Mr. Rabbit. I gave him a freaking vacation. He has expressed on multiple occasions how grateful that he's been to have the time off. So he's been enjoying his time off under the watchful eye of the brass and their representative, Mr. Lawson. The entire roster of MNW Flashbang has been thriving. We have seen so many underutilized and underappreciated talents climb their way through the ranks. You have folks like Vaporwave, like the Princedom, like Brawlkaiser, who have gotten all these wonderful opportunities thanks to the brass and Mr. Lawson. Opportunities that they never would have gotten if Mr. Rabbit had stayed in charge, because all Mr. Rabbit wanted to do was make sure that his best buddy and his little cronies were at the top of the proverbial food chain. And just because Nero Napier is coming after me, everybody is suddenly riding on the Apex bandwagon. And it makes me sick, because all these people have forgotten what a monster Nero Napier and his cronies are. Nero ate somebody on television. He ate a cameraman. How can you cheer for a monster that eats people on television? That cameraman had a family. And now he's gone. That cameraman is gone. He was devoured by your wonderful world heavyweight champion. What a shining example to set for the entire multiverse. To have this monster sitting on top of the Flashbang throne for almost an entire year. It makes me sick. And anybody in the entire Nexus, anybody watching this show, anybody who hosts any show who's riding on the Apex bandwagon, you make me sick, because you're all idiots. You are all complete, ignorant fools. Nero Napier is the biggest monster that has ever been on this roster. And to cheer for him or anybody who follows him makes you complicit. That cameraman is dead because of all of you. And I'm the only one who's man enough to call him out on that, and to call all of you out on it. None of you have ever supported me. I don't care, because I don't support any of you, because all of you want to back this monster, this disgusting animal who parades around like he's hot shit. He's not hot shit. He is at best a fucking dumpster fire. As much as I would love to see Death himself tear Nero Napier apart, I want that right. I want that privilege. I want to be the one to put Nero Napier in his place. And I don't care who my singles match opponent is. It could be literally anybody, from Flashbang, from not Flashbang. I don't care. Give me Sonic the freaking Hedgehog. I don't care. I will beat anybody that you put in front of me, and I will go into that championship showcase match. And I will take down as many of my opponents as I have to, so that the last one standing in my way is that filthy, lying, manipulative, sadistic fuck who currently holds the championship, because he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve anything that he has. He doesn't deserve his cronies. He doesn't deserve that title. He doesn't deserve his status. He doesn't deserve the adoration from all these people that he has said himself that he doesn't need, want, ask for anything. He doesn't deserve the boons that he's gotten from his best buddy, Mr. Rabbit. He doesn't deserve any of it, and I will stop at nothing to take everything from him. Thank you.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the gentleman of MNW, Scott E. Stevens. Thank you very much for stopping by, Scott. And with that, it was a very nice speech.
Huh? What?
Yeah, I almost didn't have the heart to tell him it was Blight that actually ate the cameraman.
I might have nodded off there for a second.
That's okay. That's okay. And we also are hearing a few people have some things to say out in the. So we've got from Lady Catherine, plotting my ongoing justice against Jagger on his criminal co-conspirator, that prick Artemis, Mr. Stevens. I do hope you will. Also, that was Blight who ate him, Scott. That or he changed him into a werewolf. I'm not sure on the details. Actually, two different events. The eating of the cameraman and the biting of Brad, the now camera wolf. Two completely separate events, but yeah, both were Blight. Also, Maximilian Thunderthighs. Often the ones who talk the most have the least amount to say. Thank God I'm not Flashbang Scott. Smack the Scott is the hashtag. Okay, got it. And then also thank you to Tiki the Troll for the resub of Tier 1 for 2 months. So yeah. You're doing okay there, Pete? Do you need some? Hey, Pete?
Yeah.
Pete?
Yeah.
I have some Squatch roast over here.
Ooh, I don't know.
Come on. Want a big cup of the good stuff?
Concerned about the blood rage.
You know what? The blood rage isn't as bad as you'd think.
Right.
You kind of begin enjoying it after a while. So with that, and speaking of blood rage, the next person we're going to be hearing from is the so-called King of Kings, ladies and gentlemen. It's Earl King Wes.
Professional wrestling, and therefore I have to put my name into this tournament. In fact, there are many members of the Empire that would like an opportunity, and it is simply in the spirit of competition that I will officially enter. You see, because I can think of no better prospect that at the end of Multivania it comes down to two men, myself and the apex predator, the Fey King, the King of Kings. It would be a glorious day indeed. And therefore, I want to put to bed any considered notion that we could potentially be feuding. We are on the same page. I am Nero's legal representation, and the Empire and Apex have very quietly been putting together win after win after win. There was a time when Nero and I held the two highest belts in this entire company, the Interdimensional Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship. Things are looking up. And you see, that is why I am letting the entire multiverse, along with the brass, know that the Empire demands their opportunity to compete in these showcases. We have a long roster of clientele, and I'm sure there will be no shortage of spots. So pick whatever match you want to put us in. We are ready.
So there you have it. Earl King Wes, unsurprisingly, throwing his hat and I guess the hat of all of the Empire into the ring for qualification. Last week, we of course heard right here on Firing Line when the Grim Reaper definitively declared his intention to qualify for the 8-man world title ship showcase. I suppose, let's be honest. Do you think the Earl King looked at it and went, oh, maybe I better say something since the Reaper has already put his name in? Because otherwise, it's going to be the Reaper giving Earl King a gold star.
Ooh.
That's just, Reaper beat him on the draw. That's all I'm saying. With that, of course, everyone knows, we see the social media tweets from Kath Gina. Everyone knows there is the issue with Kath Gina and Jagger Blackthorn over what happened to her family members. And Kath Gina has made it clear that she will go through the entire Flashbang roster until the brass gives her another shot at the Omnislayer. But last week, she met a roadblock in that quest in the form of TK of Spectre Sonata. So this week, a rematch of sorts. When TK comes down, but not alone, TK is partnered with the Beast Mom Naja to take on Kath Gina and her partner, the Queen of Apex, Mizuki Napier. I guess we know where these stand now. Apex standing with Kath Gina, in a lot of ways unsurprising. I mean, Nero and Jagger have been at odds since literally the beginning of Friday Night Flashbang. And so it makes perfect sense that Apex is going to support Kath Gina in her quest against the Omnislayer. But TK, let's remember a few important details about TK. TK pinned Johan Mjoln. TK, don't let her small stature fool you. She can take on the biggest hoss on Flashbang and throw him around. So let's, never.
Well, and this comes into the debate of is it better to have a couple huge wins versus a lot of smaller wins?
It's a good point. That's always a good point, because I guess it's the isn't this sort of the thing that haunted Justice Jake for a long time before his heavy title weight reign, that he could win all of the small matches but could never win the big ones?
Sure.
Until he did win the big one, I guess is the answer. I suppose it depends on the nature of those wins. Some of the biggest stars in MNW, if you look at their win-loss record, they lose more than they win, but it's the level of the ones you win.
Well, and, like in this instance with TK, they don't necessarily have a lot of wins, but who they've won over is huge.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Johan. Now, this match, I mean, there's something interesting in this match. We'll discuss at the end. This match took a very interesting turn, and if people are paying attention, you can already see the hints of it. As TK, even though the Mizuki Napier is not the size of Johan, still, TK gets the win over them. Now notice this. Naja was never tagged in.
I was just going to say, it didn't look like there was much involvement, if at all, from Naja.
The Beast Mom was simply a spectator during that match. TK won that match. It was essentially a glorified handicap match that TK managed to come out on top of. And you talk about, you know, the size of the wins versus the numbers of the wins. That's two of the top female competitors on Flashbang, and TK basically soloed them. During the match, we didn't catch it in all, since we, of course, have to condense our clips. Naja entered the ring a couple of times for assists. There was a couple of pin breakups, but that was it. TK otherwise did the job by herself. And I'm sure that Bad CG Ghost was very proud after the fact of his partner. And wherever he is out there, we would hope that the Punk Master Ghost, proud as well. But yeah, significant win. And right now, you know, we understand Lady Catherine is still looking for her chance at Jagger, but it seems like before she's going to get that opportunity, she has a Nakamura she's got to find her way past. With that, okay, so we've been talking a lot tonight about the huge events surrounding the World Heavyweight title. But let's not forget, that's not the only title we have on Friday Night Flashbang. There is also the tag belts, which have been hotly fought over at this point by nearly everyone. The current contenders for the Bone Warriors Championship are the Forces of Nature. Last week we saw Spike take on Huge Mane. And so in a moment everyone predicted, this week we see Burden of the Bone Warriors face the king of the showcase matches, Big Rock. And it's time for Burden to take on those big, strong hands. And this is, I mean, again, Big Rock, we talk about, he is the king of the showcases, won more showcases than anyone else, won the Monster Mash, faced Nero Napier for the World Heavyweight Championship, and the one thing no one can ever take away from Big Rock, won the first ever match on Friday Night Flashbang.
That's true.
And now he's getting another shot at championship gold. But first, a size-up match between him and Burden.
And yes, folks, this is a hoss fight.
Boy, is it a hoss fight. You know, two of the big guys. I mean, not a lot of guys. These are two guys that really aren't used to anyone looking them square in the eye. Both of them. And it's I'm sure, kind of a shock for both of them on that level. Burden, of course, just realizing that if you're going to take on somebody with the strength and fortitude of Big Rock, you're going to have to be especially aggressive. And Big Rock, I think Big Rock himself just knows this is another case where you need to slowly but surely wear down your opponent. Also notice so far Big Rock doing one thing really important. I think the one thing a lot of people have been scouting with the Bone Warriors of late. And that is, don't let Burden get you outside. That is always the wrong move. The ref also Legs there is getting really adept at getting out of the way. Which, considering you think of the number of times he's been, knocked on his ass, skill he would definitely learn.
Yeah, eventually.
I mean, you gotta hope. Yeah, I know a lot of people make jokes that Dr. Caliban just has a whole bunch of cloned referees in the back in tanks. Don't know where these stories come from. Can verify that. I as far as I know, there's no validity to that whatsoever. Anyway, whether or not he was cloned from a vat, the ref still managed to give the 3 count to Burden. And so at this point, we now have Burden having a victory over Big Rock. Just as Spike had a victory over Huge Mane last week. So right now, things aren't looking great for the forces of nature. But as we say, singles competition and tag competition are 2 very different elements. And just because they're winning singles matches doesn't mean that the Bone Warriors are going to have an easy time when they have to face the forces of nature in an actual tag match. Now, from what I understand, we're also hearing, we'll have to hopefully get a word from the brass later, but that match is going to definitely be before Multivania. We have a couple of months before we get on the biggest stage, and they're not going to stretch out the forces of nature waiting for that opportunity, which is just how the Bone Warriors like it. They like to defend their belts. So we're just waiting on final word when that match is going to take place. So, with that said,
oh boy,
Pete,
it's time.
It is time. So, Pete, one thing we also found out is so a few weeks ago, the Citric King won the interdimensional belt at Breakdown 6 from Earl King Wes. And since that victory had taken the belt back to MNW Warzone and has been defending it there. But it turns out that, that belt, it holds the responsibility of whoever holds it has to be the defender of the multiverse. And it turns out that the breach in the Nexus that leads to the rest of the multiverse tends to open closer to Flashbang than Warzone. And so a challenger came forth for Citric King that required the Juicy One to return to Friday Night Flashbang to defend us against that invader. And all we knew going into this was it was somebody from outside of our known universe. But I don't think anything could have prepared us for who it was that had come that required the Citric King's services. So Citric King comes down, and then his opponent appears. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you're seeing this. It's Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog from wherever he reigns. And I want to point out something. Do you see what happened to the ring? Do you see those ropes?
Yep.
They turned gold.
Gold.
They're fighting in the middle of a gold ring.
But
3 gold rings at that.
If you get it, you get it.
Yeah.
And there's a punch. Oh, moved out of the way.
Don't think enough people really cut. Yeah. So yeah, Citric. And here's the thing. You think when you think of Sonic the Hedgehog, you think, okay, he's going to be a fast fighter. He's going to move really quick. Maybe do a few rolls. And he's just kind of bringing it.
Well, never underestimate the power of the Nexus. We've said before that there are various things that can inhibit people once they enter the Nexus.
That's true. And, balance the scales. Also, there's the power of the Interdimensional Championship itself. Also, were you expecting Sonic to be this big?
No. Again, I can only speculate that perhaps this is something related to crossing into the Nexus.
Yeah, maybe like scale in his home universe is a lot different than we think.
Perhaps.
So either way, though, it's Citric King facing Sonic the Hedgehog. And Citric, he's still You know, we learned once he won the belt that Citric does bring a bit of an attitude.
Yep.
You could even go, so he kind of a cheeky bastard.
Kind of.
But yeah, the nice thing to see, though, is just because this match is happening all, that Citric is taking his interdimensional championship duties seriously.
This is true.
And he is definitely doing everything he can to defend the multiverse against Sonic. What would it mean if Sonic won the belt, though?
I don't know. Maybe his title run would be very fast.
Sure. And again, the belt is gold, and when you wear it, it's kind of circular. But either way, now Sonic finds himself in the juicer. And you know what? I don't care if you are from whatever part of the multiverse he is. Juicer is a powerful submission hold, and Citric King manages to successfully defend our little portion of the multiverse against the outside invader. And all I can say is take that, Ben Schwartz. And also tweeting out on social media, DeLuna13, not going to lie, I had to stop Sonic and get his autograph before he went back to his dimension. I've always been a fan. I mean, that's fair. I mean, I can understand that. Oh, wow, I just thought of something. Pete, check me on this. We've been discussing Apex and Blight Hallis. Correct me if I'm wrong, but at one point wasn't Sonic infected with lycanthropy?
We try not to speak of that time, but yes, it is true.
Just makes you wonder. And wow, the audience has turned. Wow.
I told you we don't talk about it, but you know, it did technically happen.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, this is
we just wish it hadn't.
I think we have to, you know, you can't ignore it. You wonder what brings certain forces here, and yeah. You know what?
Well, the crowning achievement of Sonic Unleashed is that it's not Sonic 06. So
fair.
At least it has that going for it.
You know what? Yeah.
That's all it has going for it. No.
Yeah. So anyway, earlier in the evening, when Nero Napier, hang on, and now okay. After that, I have to read. I'm like almost legally bound, because tweeting out on social media, Blight Hallis, tell Scott he can't blame me for that, Sonic. I mean, fair.
I mean, I don't even know if Scott would go that far. I mean,
I don't know.
We've all got our lines.
Sure. Earlier in the evening, when Mr. Lawson was in ring having his confrontation with Nero Napier, he laid out that there would be multiple showcase matches that would be for entrance into the special title showcase match at the main event at Multivania. And that match, so each person in this match, they are fighting for a opportunity to go to Multivania and perhaps, just maybe, win a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. Also worth noting, still a showcase match. So this match also counts for the, of course, racking up of your showcase win record. With that said, our competitors, first off, Electro Man, then Alexis Edmonton, Rico Rose, Joseph Cowman, Aurelian Starhand, Zach DeWeaver, Nitzig Gunkgobbla, and The Creation. Quite the lineup of competitors, all looking for that opportunity to enter into the main event at Multiverse. Several of these competitors in the previous week had called out through social media or recorded promos declaring they wanted a crack at the title and that chance to win the belt in a showcase match. And with that, first off, Aurelian Starhand eliminates Electroman, and at the same time, Zach DeWeaver eliminates Joseph Cowman. So really quickly, we are down 2.
We're down to 6.
And as the battle rages on, and just so much going on in there. Also, as far as we know, the first time 2 orcs have faced each other in an MNW match.
Another boot, and look at Rico. Rico with that jawbuster.
Just leaving that there. In the meantime, you have Rico setting up Zach DeWeaver. Meanwhile, Alexis Edmonton, Nitzig Gunkgobbla, and The Creation all trading blows inside the ring.
Oh, but Rico into the cover first.
But Rico gets the cover on Zach DeWeaver. And with that, we're down to 1 orc. And at the same time, Alexis Edmonton managed to get a long hold onto The Creation. Thus, not only are we down to 1 orc, we're only down to 1 green competitor.
The Creation has been eliminated. Wow!
So that, quite the cleaning of the house. And just like that, we are down to just a handful of competitors. And with that, you have the final 4. But Alexis Edmonton gets caught by Nitzig Gunkgobbla, and the orkiest orc in the multiverse gets a pinfall.
Alexis Edmonton has been eliminated.
Then with that, we're down to 3. Aurelian Starhand, Nitzig Gunkgobbla, and Rico Rose. So the Empire, the Cartel, and Vaporwave at the end of the night. And after, as we heard, if you can hear there, a good crumping, Nitzig eliminates Aurelian, and that leaves Nitzig Gunkgobbla and Rico Rose. And then at this point, you know what? Excellent job being done by Rico Rose getting to the final 2, but it's not enough. The Nitzig brings the wah, and the Cartel secures the first slot. Nitzig Gunkgobbla is going to Multiverse, and he will feature in the main event and have an opportunity at the World Heavyweight Championship. And if that doesn't make him the orkiest orc in the multiverse, I just don't know what does. I'm sure that Victor Vicious is very proud at this moment. Also, in another interesting point, Nitzig Gunkgobbla's first ever showcase win.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's also on the board now for showcases. And what you were talking about, is it the number of wins or is it the size of the wins?
True.
That was a hard group to go against. I mean, there were some heavy hitters in that, but Nitzig comes out on top. And that is, of course, the main event from last Friday. So it's time, ladies and gentlemen, for your Friday Night Flashbang moment of the week. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Firing Line tonight is brought to you by Eye to Eye Optometrist. Don't you just hate it when you're in a great one-on-one match going up for a fly-high-end moonsault when you totally miss and eat more turnbuckle than a ravenous George the Animal Steel? Then you, my friend, might need to get your eyes checked. Hi, I'm former professional wrestler Dr. See It Coming, and we here at Eye to Eye Optometrists specialize in glasses, contact lenses, and overall eye health for the wrestling impaired. Our flexible, one-of-a-kind contact lenses are guaranteed to fit all sizes and be a comfort fit even as you get your eyes poked out by your mortal enemy. We even have some eyewitnesses to testify how great these eyes are. Mr. Simon the Psycho, what do you think of your new contact lenses? Oh, God! Oh, there goes our new intern. Ha ha! Come on down and book an appointment with Dr. See It Coming, and you and I will see eye to eye.
And introducing his opponent.
What? Are you serious? What?
From the multiverse of Sonic, weighing in at 279 pounds, Sonic the Hedgehog!
Sonic the Hedgehog wants a piece of the rotten fruit! I have no words!
Not my house!
This is... Rabbit, I have no words!
How did you get in?
Is he dancing on... He's dancing! What? That's Generation X! What is he doing? We don't have the rights to that! Can we... Daddy, you can't do... Are we allowed to do that? Lawson is going to lose this one. No, wait, no. We definitely can't do that. Why would you do that? What are you doing?
Mr. Lawson's going to beat the shit out of me.
I think he's a fan. I can't believe this. And you see him, he was telling Citric to get in the ring.
And there you have it. That is your Flashbang moment of the week. And suddenly,
gotta wrestle fast.
And suddenly I'm hungry for Totino's pizza rolls for some reason. You know what? Anyway, let's move on. We finished Flashbang. Oh, hang on. Let me. Joe, are you Joe?
What's up?
There you are. Hey. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the call out with Joe Mojo. So, Joe, I understand your timing for this week's guest was impeccable.
Let's just say once they finished up, I immediately approached them. But also, I would like to say, please tune into after the call out. There's a big announcement coming.
Fair enough. But before we get into this, I got to ask, how's Brad doing?
Brad's doing fine. He came back to me. He came back the other day, scared out of his wits. No idea what happened. He wasn't talking. He was mostly, ing.
Sure.
And then Blight posted his promo, and I got the full story.
Yeah, we'll probably hear more about that tomorrow night. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
let's. I don't want to talk about it either way.
That's fair enough. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's just get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, the call out with Joe Mojo.
Thank you, Firing Line, and welcome back to the Call Out. My name is Joe. My next guest, he is the biggest, the greenest, the war boss of MNW. Ladies and gentlemen, representing the cartel, Nitzig Gunkgobbla. Nitzig, thank you for joining us tonight.
Nice to be here, I think.
Dubbed as the enforcer of the cartel, as well as the baddest oak in the Nixus. What? Anyway, as well as the first to qualify for the World Heavyweight Championship Showcase at Multivania. For those who have never heard of you before, what can you tell us about yourself?
Well, I'm the biggest, and the greenest, and therefore the best. I'm also the war boss. I like smashing skulls and crumping gits that I don't like.
And you showed that this past Friday, but we will get to that here soon. How did the war boss come to MNW?
It was during practice for a Blood Bowl game. A weird portal opened in front of me, and I thought it was just a demon hole. I had never fought a demon before, and I wanted to kill one, so I stepped in, wound up at one of them shows, and liked the idea of beating the shit out of people as a sport.
Blood Bowl? What is Blood Bowl?
If I had to make it easy to grasp, it's like that game Yaliumi's got that's called football, but more violent and you can get killed. Wonderful game. Perfect for an orc like me.
Here I thought football couldn't get more violent. What would you say your position was?
I was on the line. I guess you could say I was a blocker, but I did more bashing heads than blocking.
You seem to have the same kind of role for the cartel, joining them a couple of months after debuting on Flashbang. How did your boss, Victor Vicious, approach you into joining them?
He asked me if I wanted to bash heads in for him as a way to show Flashbang that I'm the best. It was straightforward and I can respect that.
How about when you and Hutch Kale started tagging? Your power synced very well with Hutch's speed and precision.
That felt like me Blood Bowl days. Bash the gits so the small fast guys can zip around and do their thing. Just worked itself out.
What about the overall thought when the Madness and the Mad Jester Fool joined you guys?
Didn't have much of one. They're alright at what they do and they don't get in my way. The sparring rematch with Mad Jester was fun though.
Yeah, you and MJF had a 40-minute war. Rumors said that the reward for MJF's performance at the Survivor Series match was that match. Is there any truth behind this?
I'm pretty sure it was a part of the condition of his joining the cartel. At least that's what I got told. But he did do pretty good in that match at Survivor Series.
You played a very interesting role in that match by attacking Sandman as he was waiting to be tagged in, eventually disqualifying yourself. Was that Victor's idea or another tactic from your Blood Bowl days?
That was all me. Played Blood Bowl against Yumis quite a few times and I learned they don't work too well when you smash them in the groin, so I thought, hey, why not try it here?
A win is a win, I can only assume. Speaking of wins, you had a big one this past Friday. You and Victor Vicious submitting your name to the World Heavyweight Championship Showcase qualifying matches. Were you nervous having never won a showcase before?
Wait a second, I tossed my own name in. Boss just gave an extra push. As for being nervous, nope. I heard about the gits that was trying to get in and I knew I could take them. Kinda surprised that other orc didn't do better, but he seemed like a softie.
Your hand was raised in the end, now on your way to the main event of Flashbang's Multivania. How are you feeling after such a big win?
I feel like it's time to skin a snake and take that belt.
This Friday after next, Nero Napier and Helix Lux are facing off to determine who will be the champion in that showcase. If you and one of them were the last two, who would you prefer to face? The Apex Predator or Death himself?
I want to get me hands on the lizard. He's had it too good at the top for too long. It's time for a change at the top, and if I have my way, it'll be me.
Say you win at Multivania. What kind of champion should we expect from Nitzig Gunkgobbla?
Expect the war boss to take on and crush any challengers.
Fair enough, but with all this being said and done, as we are winding down here, is there anything that you would like to tell the Firing Line audience?
Keep your eyes on me, cause the war boss is ready to war!
I would like to thank my guests for joining us, and if you would like to see the War Boss get the choppas, please tune in to twitch.tv/Edward Bosco for Friday Night Flashbang, Fridays at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. This has been Joe, and above me, I have a bit of an announcement to make, but for the life of me, I can't remember. Hey Sarah, I was supposed to make an announcement today. Can you remember what it is?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Seriously? You're supposed to help your father remember stuff.
Sorry, Dad.
All right, we're ending this bit now. Ladies and gentlemen, after months and months of info gathering and also 10-minute-a-day calls, I'd like to welcome into the Mojo family, Sarah Mojo, my new adoptive daughter.
Hi.
And we'll be posting a picture of her here in a moment. But hey, Jerry, Pete, back to you.
And there we have it. Thank you, Joe Mojo, for the call out and above game. Hey, dude, congratulations on. I know it's been a long time.
I am now a father. Yes.
So I talked to Joe behind the scenes like a lot.
Yes.
So I knew this was coming because he and I have talked about it a fair amount.
I have there's a private Discord where there's a private Discord where I was pretty much putting up the entire process of it. And I mean, Caliban and Storytellers can attest. I was stressed, nervous the entire time. And I will say this, 10-minute phone calls every day are not enough.
But hey, now you're a father, and we've had a chance to meet her, and I've informed her that I'm going to be her weird gothic uncle. So fair enough. Okay, and back in game. All right, and Joe. So good interview with Nitzig Gunkgobbla. Now the man who can truly claim to be the orkiest orc in the multiverse, going to the main event at Multivania. Do you have anything new interviews booked, or is your schedule open?
The schedule is open right now. There was someone who put interest, but scheduling is gonna be a big thing, so I might have to push them in for next week.
Okay.
But here's what I was trying. Here's what I was trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
For the next 7 weeks with the qualifiers. I was hoping to get an interview with each one who qualifies, because what would help build up such a historic match as a Flashbang Showcase Championship match at the main event of Multivania, but getting every single one who qualified to talk about themselves.
That's an ambition, and might even get some repeat interviewees, but sure. All right. Well, Joe, thank you very much, and as always, give our best to Brad, and make sure he gets his anti-anxiety medicine.
Oh my god! And you know what's crazy about that? It was crazy. It was bad before the transformation. It's gotten worse.
Well, it's probably time for his annual checkup anyway, so let's hope for the best.
Yeah, we have to go to a vet and his usual doctor.
Fair enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Joe Mojo. And with that, it's time to move on to MNW Warzone, where the episode this week, the go-home show before Future Shock. And with that, we start the night out with the Absolute Units taking on High Voltage. And this is quite the matchup. You have the units, Forrest the Fortress Wade, TJ the Mint Gable, and Absolute Washington taking on Leonid Sanchez, Aiden Zero, and Wonderball. And that is this has been interesting because High Voltage, one of the oldest factions in MNW, having been around for years, versus the Absolute Unit, newer group, but really on a meteoric rise.
Absolutely.
And this matchup.
Well, you could almost tie it in with the return of TJ Gable.
Gable's return has definitely just given a shot of adrenaline to the units. I mean, they were doing good when it was just Absolute and Forrest, but TJ's return and clearly no ring rust on the man. He came back. He had been training, and you see him. He's in great shape, and the bonds we know from hearing from Forrest in the past, the strong bonds that the absolute units have, and those show on display. On the other hand, you have the veteran of Aiden Zero, and he's personally taken on a mentor role, from what we can tell, for both Wonderball and Leonid. Leonid, of course, as we know, has extraterrestrial origins, where Aiden is a man from the future, and then Wonderball suffered under the tutelage of Louis McDonald. But either way, they have to give up the win to the absolute units, and their continued meteoric rise through the ranks of Warzone. And I think we just got to keep watching these guys. They are.
Well, I think the locker room is watching these guys, because they're getting more increasingly bigger and bigger worry to people, I'd say.
Because they're so effective. I mean, that's in the end, they bring a lot of power. You've got Washington, who is agile flyer. You've got let's face it, the very well named Forrest the Fortress Wade, and then TJ Gable, who is a striker, more and more looking like a striker without comparison. So it's even though people can go, oh, they all seem like they come from a similar background, 3 actually very different styles.
It's true.
So and when you can get styles like that to mesh and become an effective unit, as they are aptly named, watch out. There's a reason they've already held the tag belts once. And you got to wonder, if at some point Doom decides to bring the Trios Championship back for a chance for Warzone to win it back. Yeah, everyone thinks, oh, well, VIP will want to face them. Yeah, but is VIP going to be the biggest contenders for that, or is it going to be the absolute units who never really had a shot at it?
Perhaps.
Yeah. Now, the next matchup, so it was announced beforehand that a decision had been made for the UK Split Fires to go their separate ways. Apparently, Ginger Boy filed some paperwork, and so this match features the newly single star Mick Morgan taking on the war boss of Warzone, Jungos.
Oh.
And so it's like, okay, who likes punishment more, an orc or a Scotsman?
Is that a trick question?
I mean,
is it rhetorical?
In a lot of ways,
is it metaphorical?
Yeah, because aren't orcs maybe just like space Scotsmen?
I'm sure there's quite a few editorials agreeing with you. Yes.
Yeah. But with that, and you got to wonder, maybe I wonder if Jungos had been watching the night before and saw what happened with Nitzig Gunkgobbla, and I wonder if that maybe lit a little bit of fire under him, especially with people calling Nitzig the orkiest orc in the multiverse. Maybe Jungos is going, whoa, wait a minute, what about me? And my first thought is, well, maybe if you came to the ring with a chopper too, we'd see what happened. But
not enough DACA.
Because there can, you can never have too much DACA. Because there is no such thing as too much DACA. Because there's never enough DACA.
Exactly.
If I understand anything, I understand more DACA. And apparently so does McMorgan,
DACA.
Who brought the DACA to the war boss and secured the win.
Well, this is a significant win for McMorgan. I think it's going to say something about the singles run that we're starting to see now.
Yeah, now that he is definitely a singles competitor, racking up those wins. that's what he's got to do. So, yeah. With that, now the next, well, ladies and gentlemen, going down to the ring, coming with a microphone, man, we don't hear speak a lot. It's from Nakamo Worldwide, Bart Ender.
Last week, I put down 2 members of Conquest Bloodline to earn myself a shot at a title, and some people don't think that is worthy enough. I understand that. That's why I'm going to prove it at Future Shock. Bart, I was quiet when you joined Nakamo Worldwide. That was your business, but I'm going to tell you this, Bart. I myself have been waiting a very long time for singles gold, and you promised me something a long time ago that I promised you. What was it? If I ever got singles opportunity, I would let you get in on it if you beat me one-on-one, huh? If I beat you one-on-one, how about we make it so at Future Shock, it's not a one-on-one match against Mega Blitz X. No, no, no. It's a triple threat for that Big Goose Championship, hombre. You want to make this deal? Fine. If the brass agree, the Serious versus Bart and a one-on-one rematch of the C101. Only this time, you ain't winning. I'm going to that event one-on-one, and I'm taking that gold. With all due respect. It's on! Oh! It's on, ladies and gentlemen.
And there you have it. So Glycerius to face his former partner in Lucha on the Rocks, Bart Ender. Definitely looks like there's some tension between them. I can only imagine. Yeah. I can only imagine Glycerius is just really not happy with Bart being part of Nakamo Worldwide now. Even though, I mean, if you look at it, he was. I mean, you familiar with the term press gang?
Sure.
And Bart Ender, I think, was press ganged into to Nakamo Worldwide. But like anyone who finds themselves in there, I think he's I think he's drank the Kool-Aid.
Well, the thing has been that Trashman, for whatever faults you might give the guy, has been, to my understanding, recipient to Bart Ender's advice, and I think that in itself has perhaps been the motivating factor for him to embrace his new role.
I mean, fair. And, you know, it's not like Bart's been doing badly ever since he joined. Although, I mean, there was that poor decision to, attack House Caliban.
Sure.
Meant Bart Ender got to get up close and personal with Dr. Caliban's son, the big one.
Oof. Never a good idea.
Really a good, unless you got like 7 other people in the ring, not the place you want to be. Right. Well, with that, so the next one, I guess a bit of an exhibition match, even though exhibition match featuring some champions, and that was you have Mr. Enigma and man at this time known as Delinquent Song teaming with the Kung Fu Penguin Peng Chi to take on the team of Chained Hell, the tag champions Hightower and Flame Revenant, and their newest member, Constantinople. And so Constantinople, interesting since he joined the Chained Hell, he's wearing Hightower's old mask, and also it looks like he's been hitting the gym.
Yeah,
he's bulked up a bit since the last time we saw him. Also looks
and as he was coming out to the ring, you notice he was wearing some new attire. I dare say that the role has grown upon him, as it were.
Yeah, well, I mean, suppose no longer being in the shadow of Istanbul helps, but he's and notice he's moving. He's up his moveset. He is definitely been working hard. I know that Flame Ribbon and Hightower have been working him. But this showcase, you have Peng Chi, who's, the Nexi winning veteran of the multiverse, but then the new guys, Delinquent Son and, Nigma's been around for a while. But either way, it's a, I think what this really was just a chance for Chained Hell to show that now that they're a trio, they're still the well-oiled, brutal machine that they've always been. And they've just brought Constantinople into the fold and into the ways of the Chain Gang.
So it would seem.
And yeah, that's brutal but effective. I mean, they've held onto those belts for. I mean, it's not a Bone Warriors run, not yet anyway.
No.
But definitely,
not much is in all due respect.
I mean, if we're being fair, that's a high bar to cross. Nearly
Indeed.
a year as champions, but they've held on. This is for the Warzone tag division. Actually, it's been a pretty long reign.
It has.
Those belts the tag belts usually move a lot faster, and Chained Hell's been holding on to them for a fair run. So, well, the next match. So this was interesting. So you have the main event Mex EXE. Well, R. Sawyer coming out with Malice to take on Lock-In of Eastern Bloc Party. And so I guess the first question is, and this is really important, is R. Sawyer going to find Lock-In funny?
Doubtful.
These two have been going back and forth. Apparently, I've heard something about there's been a prank war. There's been literal meme battles. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them did a diss song. These two have been using every social media trick in the book on each other, just because these are it's a personality clash that just doesn't stop. So at least they finally are settling it like wrestlers.
Well, and I think you hit the nail on the head with it being a clash in styles. That, whatever sense of humor you might give to Rosso R. Sawyer, or you might give to Lock-In, they're just not going to mix.
No.
Make an analogy of oil and oil and water.
Oil and water, and somebody's throwing a match, but not throwing a match because that.
Right. Different. Yeah.
Different entirely. Yeah. Yeah. So, find it very interesting. You've got the German versus the Terminator. We've been checking. It's a little unclear because we know that Malice is, of course, a Transformer. Zacho Duo, while built by Chaz Lee, was based on Zacho units from Gundam. And we've heard that, from best we can tell, R. Sawyer is a Terminator by way of Evangelion.
Ooh, that just made everything very confusing.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works. Either way, Lock-In actually secures the victory, though. So that just leads me to wonder, I don't think this is over. Because if anyone expects R. Sawyer to take that loss lying down, you haven't been paying attention. Just flat out. Now, the next match. Since revelations on Flashbang about the Outlaws, and specifically CJR Killer having been hired to run over Punk Master Ghost and steal the mask of La Luna El Chavo from the family estate, and thus really majorly pissing off De Luna. Interestingly, it's given a boost to the booking of the Outlaws, and they come out. They're looking to make a name for themselves to get another shot at the tag belts. But first, they have to get past VIP in the form of Suplex Sam and the Beef. And we're getting. You know how usually we get tweets out on social media?
Yeah.
Somebody just hacked my laptop, and it says, "Oh, trust me, Lock-In's on the top of the list," and then there's a duck. So I think we know where that came from. So R. Sawyer confirming, yeah, this ain't over. Meanwhile, back in the ring, CJR Killer taking on Suplex Sam. Interestingly, both of these guys, well, of course, long history of Suplex Sam, starting out as part of Shoot Nation on Warzone, working for the Inquisition before moving to Friday Night Flashbang and being part of the first ever tag match on Flashbang. The Outlaws, of course, being one of the original tag teams of Flashbang before getting suspended by Mr. Rabbit. So, these the Outlaws and Sam have faced each other for a couple of years now. The Beef, of course, just thinks everyone, whatever. He's not even 100% sure.
Beef.
He's the Beef. If he remembers CJR and Theron's name, I would actually be surprised. It's okay, we're going to fight these two guys, whoever they are.
Those guys that dress in black a lot.
Yeah, those two whatever guys. Yeah, and to show his disdain, the Beef just very casually pins CJR Killer. And yeah. So while the Outlaws have been making inroads, apparently not enough to get past VIP. And the Beef shows his dominance and shows he and Sam are making a fairly effective team.
Yeah, they absolutely are.
And with those tag belts out there, I could easily see them being the team to mount a challenge to Chained Hell.
Absolutely.
And with that, now this is an interesting moment for us. So we've reached this moment. It is, ladies and gentlemen, the Warzone audio promo of the week. And in a rare moment, it started out backstage and then found its way into the ring. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Zacco Duo.
It's time for some real shoot therapy. I am through with this Vince Russo level crap. And not just the bullshit way I was robbed my title match. This entire show has gone down since the pandemic last year. Every week you people have to make some noise and bark on command like dogs for the exact same matches you've seen hundreds of times. Thanks, Chaz, for sending me to one of the worst eras of wrestling ever recorded. And to my mystery man who cost me my title match, you can take your little carrot on a stick and shove it up your ass. Congrats on wasting your Saturday on an overbooked D show. Well, guess Future Shock is going to be smaller than this week's card. Hell, even if I did win the belt that night, I'd probably drop it to Probonaga or Vince Smoke in 10 minutes. Because wins and losses don't matter anymore. Everyone gets the turn to hold any of the 5 hot potatoes we pass around. And you see, that's the problem. No one on this damn show knows how to make a star. Well, except Trash Man, apparently. He's a little star maker. He's also stale, outdated, and refuses to ride off into the sunset with Jake, Chaz, and all the other relics of the underground. People are done with this. Citric and XR waited, nearly half a decade to make it to the top? How many times has the Funk grabbed the brass ring only to be made irrelevant by outdated tag partners? I still haven't had a fair rematch for my world title, and I'm the reason this place is even still around. Or did you forget that part? This must be what Atlas feels like. It's so easy to move on from that. But people still want to see the guy who hasn't wrestled in 2 years come back when you idiots didn't even want him here in the first place. That's why Chaz is always shoved down my throat by anyone who tries to out-promo me. It's because no one knows how to move on. None of these older guys know how to step aside. I'm doing what I should have done months ago and moving on. Jake, Chaz, you can take all of High Voltage and fuck off. The next person who decides to knock on my door, I will shove my off switch into your eye socket. I'm fucking done and getting on with my life. Fuck this.
You know, that's the thing. I'm not quite done spitting my hot truth here, you know. I'm not going to lie, everybody. Wilson's son of Will. Furthermore, you should go back to Flashbang along with Ginger Boy and every other fuck from that show. Go back over there. Take Trashman with you since he's so goddamn in love with it. Sam Smoke just got back. Yet he gets a title shot. This is complete shot.
It's Chaz Lee, the creator of Zacko Duo.
Exactly, you say you're tired of the same old thing happening here in Warzone, but one of the most common things is for you to walk down here and bitch and moan and cry and complain and whine. I call you out, you have to come out here because, hell, when was the last thing you did anything? What was the last memorable thing you did? All right, you were the first tossed out at Multivania in the first match. You did that. Hey, back. So how about you and me go back and write another chapter of that story you hate to write? You want to end it? You want to end things once and for all? 5 Future Shock Zacko Duo versus me, 1-on-1. How about that? You know, if you duck my challenge, you're just scared. And that's the stat end all be all. I'll be at the pay-per-view, ready to goddamn wrestle. You want to come down to that ring? You want to get all that aggression out? Fine. Let's end the chapter between Chazley and Zacko Duo once and for all. And if I win, you go answer Kakusa P.I.'s questions like a good boy. You want a match? You want a match, old man? Fine. It's going to be the end of Invincible. Spoilers, everybody. The good guy wins. Oh, yeah. See you at Future Shock, bitch.
There you have it. Yeah, Zacko Duo bringing the heat. And just when he decries, everyone constantly bringing up Chaz Lee, who shows up.
Like Beetlejuice, he said it too many times.
Yeah. And then he shall appear. Nice to see Chaz Lee actually showing up again. We haven't seen him in a while.
True.
So, fair enough there. Yeah. So we'll have to see what happens at Future Shock involving that matchup. In the meantime, let's go down. So last week, newcomer to the multiverse, new wrestler on Warzone, Carcharodon, actually managed to win the opportunity to face Mega Blitz X for the Big Oof Championship. He lost, but it did certainly put his name on everyone's lips. So this week, Carcharodon comes to the ring to face Alpha Kong, Mega Blitz X's Omega Club compatriot. And this is, so from what I understand, the name Carcharodon is references a species of shark.
Yes, I believe it is the genus.
Yeah. And so with that, so I guess we have our second shark-based wrestler in MNW. Because, of course, everyone knows that the member of Apex, Zephyr Tail, is a human-shark hybrid.
Right.
But
yes, it is the Carcharodon is the genus for white sharks.
Interesting. And meanwhile, you have Alpha Kong being distracted by the music of former leader of Omega Club, D4C Trice, who comes out and just cold conks him with a bat. And then, not satisfied to let Carcharodon get the pin, continues to attack Alpha Kong, disrupting the match and throwing the win to Alpha Kong, thus also upsetting Carcharodon.
Certainly not the win that you want.
No.
Or the loss that you want either.
No, I think everyone in that match, don't think anyone left the ring happy with that one. Not even.
Except maybe Trice.
Yeah, Trice playing the part of spoilers.
Yep.
So the one of the other issues we've had brewing on Warzone has been the growing war between the Sentinels and Sir Uncle Dunk. Let's face it, Sir Uncle Dunk is shifted from leader of the Republic to... I don't know if he's quite super villain yet. Certainly miserly. But yeah, last week it was Sparrow. This week, Daverman comes to the ring with Sparrow to face the team of Sir Uncle Dunk, Mr. Old Money in the Bank, and his butler, Mr. Butler. And we still trying to learn more about who this mysterious butler is.
Sir Ugly Dunk got him from some jail. I mean, correctional facility.
I mean, that's good. And some people were worried that it might have been some kind of demonic pact, but they checked Uncle's eyes and they seemed fine. So still makes you wonder about
just correctional facility. Hence the mask on his face, as you see.
And what is it with the multiverse and masking the people in prisons?
Don't know.
I mean,
I think that. I mean, by the looks of that looks like more of a biting hazard mask. So, that's the more worrisome part to me.
Yeah, true. What was? I mean, that leads to the question: what was he in jail for?
I don't know.
I mean, I have to assume it can't be that bad if he passed the. Actually, I don't think there is a background check to actually get into MNW, is there?
Well, and we don't really. We know it was a correctional facility. We don't know where or when or how.
All right, that's right.
Is a correctional facility?
Good point. But yeah, after you have the Daver man putting the speeding bullet on Mr. Butler and winning the match for the Sentinels, defeating in that early part of any superhero battle, you have to defeat the henchman.
Yep, and I imagine Uncle Dunk is none too happy with Mr. Butler right now.
Well, and certainly not with the Sentinels. They keep as they say, getting up in his business.
They do say that.
They do say that. I hear the young folks all the time saying that.
With their loud music and their hula hoops.
Just the roller skates. Yeah, next thing you know, there's going to be sock hops, and then the collapse of human civilization.
Madness. Yeah.
But in the meantime, earlier in the evening, we heard a challenge laid out between Bart Ender and Glycerius because Bart has a title shot, and Glycerius is looking to earn the right to join that match. So with that, it's the former members of Lucha on the Rocks, Bart Ender and Glycerius, facing off in the ring. If Glycerius wins, he joins that title match. And if Bart Ender wins, he gets to have it one-on-one. So, and who, it's always the question of, you look in these matches and who do you like? But in this case, I mean, I know as a MNW commentator, it is beholden on me to be, or at least attempt to be, impartial. But it's Nakama Worldwide. And just sometimes, but either way, and the person watching this match the most closely is, of course, Mega Blitz X. Since that championship we were talking about is the big oof. And whoever of the, whatever happens here could greatly affect that matchup, whether he's going to face Bart one-on-one or whether Glycerius, because if it's a three-way dance, that actually makes the defense much harder to the Kamen Rider of Warzone. Fortunately for him and Bart Ender, Bart pulls out the victory, and thus, well,
We're still going to have the one-on-one match between Bart Ender and Mega Blitz X.
So, and I guess that's nothing of it. And you feel sorry for Glycerius. He's been working hard since the breakup of Lucha on the Rocks. He's been making efforts, and I still would not count out Glycerius. Strong competitor, veteran in the multiverse. So we're sure we will see more of him in the future.
Absolutely.
In the meantime, so our next matchup, well, it's pretty simple. Legion is a group comprised of people who have sour grapes over their positions in MNW, who feel that they've been treated unfairly and not been given their due. And by that, of course, we mean Kane, D4C Trice, and Louis McDonald. So they get to take on the Roughnecks, which feature the Toxic Wastelanders, the Main Man, and Gorewheel. And, of course, the Multiverse Heavyweight Champion, Burnout Vaughn. And, this matchup, a lot of it comes, again, we saw Trice earlier in the evening. He is still not happy with success of anyone that he, quote-unquote, left behind in Omega Club. Kane still bitter about the not more people coming to his side and his aid in his conflict with Dr. Grimm. And Louis McDonald just, being the true spirit of entitlement. Versus the Main Man, the Atomic Adonis, Big Popple Plutonium, the Revenant, who is, and this is the new memo I got, Fun Incarnate, I guess. And, of course, his legal representation, Gorewheel, or as we sometimes know him, Gordon Wheeler, Esquire. And, of course, Burnout Vaughn, the one-man bar fight, the roughneck of MNW, and a man who finally has got his due as having a decent run as heavyweight champion after being mocked for having the shortest reign next to Probanaga, and, of course, losing all the bones in his body.
Which, fortunately, he has since gotten replacements.
He has replacements. My understanding is it's a Platanium bones. We don't know specifics of how that works. We do know they were installed by Dr. Caliban, who has since taken on the role of Burnout Vaughn's primary care physician. But here in the end, so Tartarus locked on to the Revenant, and he may be Fun Incarnate, but even the Main Man has to tap out to Tartarus.
And Legion continuing to just rain on everybody's parade any chance they can.
It's like boy, these three guys, yay, they won a match. Go Legion. But I'm sure they feel great. They feel, this is what we deserve. That's okay. I'm sure it'll be fine. Now, this next match. So, Pete, I think it's fair to say that if we've learned anything about the MNW audience, it's that one of the things they love, possibly more than just about anything else, is a hoss fight. That they will ask, hey, is this a hoss fight? So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not 100% sure what a Haas fight is, please allow us here at MNW Firing Line to illustrate a Haas fight for you. We'll start with Gorm of the Conquest Bloodline taking on Depth Charge of Nakamo Worldwide. These two men are what are commonly known as Hosses. Hoss being defined as large, broad, well-built, there are people that try and say like the Creation is a Hoss, but he's a bit on the, even though he is tall and strong, a little on the slender build. Certainly the All-Lots are true Hosses.
Notorious CAT.
Yeah, absolutely. Perhaps the hossiest Hoss in
that ever Hoss to Hoss.
All of MNW. But yeah, this is truly a Hoss fight. And
absolutely.
Also, it is Goliath versus, I'm not sure what the hell. There's always a question what's gonna go first. Is it, the ocean or the mountain? They say water can wear down the mightiest mountain.
Yes, but it also takes a long time.
Does take a long time, and Gorm is not the type to give you that time.
Not the most patient fella.
No. And while we have Depth Charge, who brings a lot of big daddy energy to the ring,
but just wasn't Big Daddy enough.
Not enough to take on Gorm. So in this battle to prove who is the chief Hoss, it goes to Gorm. Do you know the Pete? You probably know this. I mean, you're well read. You went to college and studied. Do you understand? Do you know the origins of the term Hoss?
Well, there are a couple of different beliefs. I know that going back to some older wrestling, we had the Berserker who would notoriously yell "Hoss, Hoss, Hoss" during his matches. That's one thought.
I, of course, subscribe to the theory that it's a reference to the character of Hoss Cartwright from the show Bonanza, played by the great Dan Blockard, who was himself the very definition of a Hoss, being quite tall and quite broad. And just one look at the man, it's like maybe a physical fight with this man is a bad plan.
So people are like, what do you need for the next movie? I need that. What's that? That's Hoss.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. So, that's possible origin. But either way, we have the term Hoss and a Hoss fight. And I will tell you right now, if you're watching a match and the competitors are Mega Blitz X and let's say Wilson Son of Will, that is not a Hoss fight.
No, not at all.
No.
Ever.
Mm-mm. So
not gonna happen.
It's hard. People are like, where's the Hoss line? I'd say you're not gonna have a Hoss under 6'2". Certainly not going to be a light heavyweight. You're going to definitely need to at least be in heavyweight territory. And if you're in super heavyweight territory, you're probably a Hoss.
Yeah, it starts becoming a bit more of a given.
Yeah, this has been your MNW Firing Line guide to knowing your Hoss. And with that, interesting, we're discussing Hosses, and then we're going to look at our next match. So earlier in the show, when we were going over Friday Night Flashbang, we saw Citric King defend the multiverse against an invader. That's what we're going to say now, an invader. But officially, the Juicy One is part of the Warzone roster. And to that end, he is beholden on him to have a Warzone match, because at Future Shock, it has been booked that Citric King will face the VI Pharaoh Azir Turan for the Interdimensional Championship. Now, I want you to think about that for a second. What's going to happen if Azir Turan holds the Interdimensional Championship and, I don't know, and suddenly we find ourselves invaded by Skeletor? I mean, yes, Azir Turan is a fine fighter, but is he the one you really want as your frontline defense?
I don't know. I mean, you know, the certainly the idea behind the belt is that if the person is able to win the belt, then there's a certain amount of assumed talent there to defend it. So
that's a true point. Well, anyway, the next match is a warm-up match for that title defense at Future Shock, featuring Citric King and teamed with Thundabunga. I guess Maximilian Thunderthighs and Ungabunga have formed a tag team, and they're taking on VIP in the form of Wilson, son of Will, the Doctor of Albinomics, and the Collector himself, Azir Turan. And this match, it starts out Wilson, son of Will, and Citric King. That's and I you got to figure Wilson's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder here with the crossovers with Flashbang and his, shall we say,
well, let's also be fair. Wilson will always have chips on his shoulder.
That's true. He collects them. Yeah, you can't have just one.
We can only hope that at one point he gets so many chips on his shoulders his arms fall off.
True. Either way, the Doctor of Albinomics then with Maximilian Thunderthighs. Before Max takes on his... it's always going to be a complicated relationship, I think, between Max and Wilson. So
true. The history there is awkward to say the least.
That's absolutely one way to put it. It is awkward. And you have but an interesting team. So I guess Max felt some kind of kinship with Ungabunga, and was able to get Unga to agree to join him as to form a tag team. And when Citric was looking for partners, I guess he just felt a bit of camaraderie with these two.
As somebody in the audience pointed out, Max is currently under the belief that Ungabunga is in fact Canadian, and so he's been doing his best to communicate with Ungabunga in what Canadian language he does know.
Yeah, sure. That makes perfect sense. Either way, after a decisive pinfall, the team of Tropical Thundabunga, which honestly sounds kind of refreshing.
I thought so too.
Are the winners of the match? Yeah. So that's it. And hang on. Hold on, Pete. The phone line is lighting up. Let's see who we've got. Somebody on the phone. Somebody apparently wants to talk about that last match that we just saw. Hey, hello, welcome to MNW Firing Line. You're on the air. Let me see if I can. Hang on, we may be having a rough connection. Let me see if I can jiggle the line here a second. Hello, caller. You're on the line. Caller, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to hang up and see if you can call back in. Let's give them a second. See if they're calling back. All right, let's try it now. Caller, are you there? I'm not hearing anything. Pete, are you?
No, nope.
I think we have a bad connection. So
wait a second here.
Give it a second. Hang on. Phyllis in the truck is seeing if she can. She said
Hey, hold up. Hey, Joe, roll over.
Yeah, let's see if they.
All right,
give it a second.
Sleeping on one of the cords or something. I don't know.
Hang on. I don't know if the caller's called back yet. We'll give him a second. I have a feeling that it might have been important. Well, if the caller comes back, we'll give him a shot.
Well, and while we're waiting, we could share with the audience something that was shared with the Warzone audience before that match.
Oh, that thing. Yeah, I mean, now this was the only footage we have is the replay at the end of the show, but yeah. There was a special tribute to
public service announcement.
Yeah. You know what?
We'll go with that.
We're just going to play it.
He's our champion, everybody. X-Nick, thank you so much for the 2,000 bits.
Can you see the sun is shining on me? It makes me
you didn't ask for this responsibility, everybody.
so alive. It makes me want to survive. And the sky, it makes me
Thank you all for coming to MNW, everybody. We have a show tomorrow. I have Riku swinging by the Weary 101. Next Saturday will be Future Shock.
So yeah, that I think
that happened.
It did happen. You know, I think a lot of people were just taken by surprise. I mean, of all the invaders you would expect from outside of our reality, yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I think we're all taken aback. Several.
Let's just be honest. At least it wasn't Ugandan Knuckles.
No, I think it was really summed up. There was a common thread, especially from many of the MNW wrestlers. Now that thread was a lot of just posting of the fuck, and yeah. Okay, I think we may have our caller back. Let's see if the connection is working this time. Hello, caller, you there?
Hello there, it's the great behemoth Maximilian Thunder Thighs.
Max, a million Thunder Thighs. Welcome to Firing Line. How are you doing, Max?
Doing good. It's been a bit of a quiet day for me, but it's been nice.
That's good. So Max, you have so how solid a tag team would you say you now have with Ungabunga in the new team of Thunderbunga?
I must say, working with an astonishing wrestler like Thunderbunga, who's fresh out of the gate and already competing with some of the best out here, has been a real treat. I get to see the beginning of a legendary career that comes from a man in our past. Maybe he's going to take the future, but I don't know. What I do know is I am privileged to work with such a good man like Ungabunga.
And so we're still trying to wrap around because he dresses like a caveman, but we're understanding he's from Canada?
Absolutely. I mean, he has the long beard. He travels often in the woods. It is hard to understand him sometimes, but we make it work. He is clearly from BC in Vancouver Island. I have been up in that area many times, and I can rest assured that I can barely get a word in there because I can't understand half of the language they're speaking. But it took me a while, and I can finally speak Canadianese.
Oh, right. And, okay, well, with that, then, of course, great victory in that match, along with the interdimensional champion, the Citric King.
Boy, my personal favorite right now.
And so, Max, I'm going to ask you the question that I think is on everyone's mind. What were you thinking when you saw his opponent on Friday?
On VIP?
No, the previous night on Flashbang. The person he wrestled.
I'll be honest with you, I've never heard of a Sonic. I do not know what this creature is, but it certainly was taller than I was expecting. A creature that's supposed to be so fast. Still, it was an excellent match. It was
very blue.
It was very blue and very blurry, and I certainly was hoping he was going to take the belt, to be honest with you.
All right. So I'm getting a question, and I'm getting some messages. So, with Unga Bunga being Canadian, is that because he said he's from BC?
Well, I'm the only reason why I think he's Canadian. I've seen many Canadians from Vancouver Island in British Columbia, and if you've ever been there, it is very much similar to the patterns, the speech patterns, and preferably the smell of many people who call their home. I have taken a boat up there, and well, they're very nice people. Little strange, but very nice. And Thunderbunga, I'm convinced, is part of that group.
Right. Okay, and any last thoughts for the Firing Line audience as we wrap up the segment there, Max?
Two things. One, I'm not going to forgive Citric King for what happened when he left with the belt. I'm happy that he managed to get it, but leaving in that sort of way is not to be forgiven. I don't know what you're doing with Jack the Questionable and bashing somebody bashing a show that you had the privilege to get on there, and then coming out here acting like the hero. Well, at least there's one person in the roster who doesn't see you as the hero, Citric King. And Wilson, I'll see you at Future Shock. I have some words for you.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Maximilian Thunderthighs. Thank you very much, Max. Well, there's only one match left. It's time for the MNW Warzone Future Shock Go Home Show main event. And this main event was to determine who will face Burnout Vaughn for the MNW Multiverse Heavyweight Championship. And those contenders are the Glorious Emperor Probanaga facing off against Vinsmoke Sanjay. And here they are. And of course, everyone knows these two have history. There was history originally from clashes back when they were members, respectively, of the Republic and Omega Club. And in fact, it was a misguided attempt by Sir McCheese and Daver Boy to cheer up Probanaga that led to the unleashing of the menace known as the Hats, which led to Hatsmoke Sanjay and his reign as world champion that was brought short in part by Probanaga. So with all that history, these two having this clash does have a bit of an epic feel.
It does. Well, it feels like this is, like we're coming up on, like, the closing parts of this journey that we've been on with them.
In fact, I mean, this feels so epic. It almost seems like it should be on the pay-per-view itself. But here we're getting it in the go-home show. And yes, whoever wins this matchup will go on to challenge for the heavyweight championship at Multivania. Or not at Multivania, I'm sorry, Future Shock. I'm already looking ahead to Multivania. Of course, both men previous world champions. So whoever comes out of Future Shock with that belt will be somebody who has held the belt previously. But in the meantime, after believe that was the firing squad as opposed to the smoking gun, and a dirty pin, which is exactly what he used against Minoru Suzuki, Vinsmoke Sanjay wins the opportunity to face this man, Burnout Vaughn, at Future Shock. And there you have it. Both men, old comrades, Vinsmoke Sanjay having recruited Burnout Vaughn for Omega Club. And now they will face off one-on-one for the belt.
Okay.
And so, really quick, let's look at what we know about the card for Future Shock. So, we will have Burnout Vaughn versus Vinsmoke Sanjay, Mega Blitz X versus Bart Ender, the Citric King versus Ozir Turan, Chained Hell versus VIP, all for championship gold. In addition, Raphael Sampson will face off against Fear Strikes for the Nexus Titan Championship. And you will have Gorm facing Trashman Jones for the Warp Gate Hardcore Championship. With that,
Caliban, I think you got a message there from Phyllis.
Yep. All right. So, and it looks like, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm getting news from Phyllis in the truck. Somebody wants to speak out about that heavyweight title match at Future Shock. Ladies and gentlemen, the number one contender for the Multiverse Heavyweight Championship, Vinsmoke Sanjay.
Good evening once again, gentlemen. But I have to start off with this. Next time you announce me when I enter into these calls, you best put respect on my name. I'm Vinsmoke Sanjay, not Sanjay.
I apologize.
Get it right. Secondly, I have quote-unquote words for my challenger at Future Shock. Burnout Vaughn. Well, it seems like you have done what you set out to do. But along the lines, you've changed, just like I have. You've aligned yourself with these radioactive freaks. You've become soft. Soft. That's not the man that I knew when I brought him in to Omega Club. That's not the roughneck badass that went through every single one of the Republic members with me. Trice, Alpha Kong, and Mega Blitz. You are no longer the person I admired. You are no longer the challenge worthy of my ire. What happened to you, Burnout? Did you get old enough to realize that you don't no longer have what it takes to beat somebody like me? And that's the thing, isn't it, Burnout? We haven't faced each other, but we will. And we will soon. And just like the pay-per-view itself, unfortunately, it's not gonna be Future Shock. There's not gonna be any shock of what I do to you. Because unlike everybody else who claims that they are a monster, I am a monster. Everything that I've done up until now, I did because I wanted. I was a hat because I wanted power. Because I wanted that thing that holds your waist, the MNW World Heavyweight Championship. But see, the thing is, Burnout Vaughn, you made me this way. You could have saved me, but you didn't. And it's all going to come ahead. Next week, I'm going to do what I should have done a long time ago. And that is kick your head off and take what is rightfully mine. It is rightfully mine. You know it, and I know it. And I'm going to tell you why I'm going to do it. Because I'm better than you, and you know it.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Vinsmoke Sanji. Thank you, sir, and we look forward to seeing you at Future Shock.
Have a good evening, gentlemen.
And with that, well, it leaves us one last thing. It's time for the Warzone Moment of the Week.
Damn, the ref is knocked down predictably so. Oh, this is... Come on, that's the Peggy! This is a warm-up for their title defense, and they're trying to train. Whoa!
And there you have it. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to an end of another MNW Firing Line. So, for Joe Mojo and Pete McPherson, I'm Jerry Aldini, wishing you a good night, and we'll see you at Future Shock. And we're above game. Yay. Unfortunately, Lady Catherine, you got your tweet out. I'll read it in character. Jerry, I've done many things, but I've done it all on my own. Okay. We need to go over a few things, and we need to light the beacon. Gondor calls for aid. Or is that there it goes. Hello.
Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now joined by Edward Bosco for the after
Unfortunately,
show.
that is true.
Yeah. Hey, whatever happens. You know what? I would have joined you yesterday for the AEW, but you were doing it while I was at work.
I mean, that's fair.
I was listening.
You have a real job.
Yeah, I was there. I mean, I was paying attention. Marty had a great match.
Yeah, he really did.
I was like,
he got in less offense against Jungle Boy than he did against Cage.
True, yeah. but he really felt he was showing off his personality.
Oh yeah, character work.
Yeah, that was great. And I was like, and it worked really well with
so
Jungle Boy.
good.
So yeah, no, I hope hope AEW realizes, no, this Marty guy, we should keep using him.
Yep.
Bosco, I'm gonna let you take the wheel. I know there's some stuff you want to talk about.
Yeah. Hi guys. Yeah. I hope you're all on the Discord because there's a little bit of an update now that we're above game on Future Shock. It's going to be pushed back a couple of weeks. Kurt is reformatting some stuff. He put a message about it in the Discord. Hopefully you guys had a chance to read it. So just for those of you that missed it, Future Shock got bumped back a couple of weeks. So that is what it is. If there's any questions or comments or concerns, I'm just here to make sure that the right information gets out about what's going on behind the scenes. But all that stuff is for you on the Discord, and this is a great time if you have any clarification that you need about what's going down. Now's the time to ask it. Just so that you're not asking people that don't know.
Yep. So now, if you've got any questions, any concerns, let us know.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's going to be a real early show.
Again, I mean,
30 minutes.
Yeah, we're not as bad as last week.
That's true.
And no, Vin's asking if everyone liked it. I thought you did a good job there, Vin.
Yeah, no, Vin, you were good.
Yeah, you were on point. You had your story. You told it. It was great. Also, while we're waiting to see if anyone has any questions about things going on, just want to take a moment to hype up last Sunday on the MNW YouTube channel. We had a workshop for character work focusing on the roles of the heel and the face. If you're interested, you can see it on the YouTube channel if you're not sure how to get there. on the MNW Discord in the Promo 101 channel, it has been pinned. So,
Rosso is asking, are there other shows between now and Future Shock, or are we just waiting on Future Shock?
We're just waiting on Future Shock as far as I know. I don't know if there will be any edits to the Future Shock card. As always, the card is up for change. So what was set up might not be the case. What was set up might get done. It all depends. Like I said, Kurt is figuring some stuff out in terms of Future Shock. So he just needs the couple of weeks to get that done. And I'm sure he will update the card and repost it if anything changes. But yeah, I'm assuming Future Shock is the next show. If that changes, I will be the last person to know, like everybody else.
And I just put in chat the link to Sunday's workshop. So if you guys want to go check it out, you can go click that link.
Yeah, it's basically like hitting a pause button, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that is the best way to put it. Is we're literally just pausing things right now while we figure stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course,
definitely check out that link.
Yeah, Firing Line's going to go on this room.
Mm-hmm. Because Flashbang is still going.
That's what I meant. Flashbang.
Yep.
God damn it.
Yep.
I meant to say Flashbang. And
I mean, but Firing Line is also still going. You were not incorrect.
That's true. No, we are going to keep going because Flashbang is going to keep going, and we're going to have stuff to talk about. In fact,
here is also, just for posterity's sake, here's also the link to the YouTube channel itself.
Yeah.
Yep.
In fact, just yesterday, we hit 250 subscribers.
We did.
Nice.
Yeah, so it is growing nicely. And we're getting a lot of people. I mean, I'm beginning to see stuff where it's like, this person is clearly from outside the community and are finding us, subscribing. So,
which is awesome.
Yay, we're growing.
Matrix, as to the reason why last week's episode wasn't uploaded, there were unfortunately some errors in getting the download, and so there's a lot of stuff that I had to do to that episode to get it functional. So it's an unfortunate thing, but it is coming soon. I have just gotten it finished.
More editing than normal, essentially.
Yeah, it did a number on my editing, so yeah.
I think it's about ready. I was reviewing it today. I think it's about ready.
Yep, it is going up, folks. So I apologize for the delay. That's completely on my end. It just there was only so fast I could go with it.
Because you're working now.
Yes.
There's a lot of that going around.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many things can you not talk about right now?
Enough. All of the things, it feels like.
Yeah. All right. Well,
but you had somebody made a big announcement today.
Which one?
You, the fighting game.
Oh yeah, Guilty Gear. Go check it out. We dubbed it. I'm allowed to talk about that now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is that one of the
ones? The beta's actually out right now. I'm sure that's where Phil is. That's why he's not here.
Fair enough. Oh, I was going to ask you said there were 2 games you were looking forward to because a certain voice showed up. Is that one of them?
It sure is. And when Phil figures out why, he'll know. Because I know how much of a Guilty Gear mark he is. And man, if I find the cutscene, because I don't know if the story mode's going to be out or if it's just the beta today, but we'll see.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that now.
I'm excited. I'm very excited. If I find the clip, you'll see it.
All right. Any other questions, folks, while we're here? Because I'm trying to think, is there anything else we need to cover just MNW wise, community wise?
Well, and I mean, I'd say just for repeating, we can just reiterate to folks, yes, Warzone is going to be taking a couple of weeks off. That means that Future Shock is going to be a couple of weeks off. So that's the main thing to realize. Just Warzone's going on a couple week break.
Yeah, yeah.
If I am allowed to do a house show or something in between, I will try to do it with Kurt's permission, just so that you guys have something to watch. Other than that, pause.
Yeah,
pause.
All right. Not really seeing any other questions coming in. So
excellent.
See, the game I'm looking forward to is the Mass Effect remaster.
Yep. Arcall's going to be playing the hell out of that.
Yep.
Well, if you don't got any more questions, you got to find somebody to raid.
I do. Well, while I'm looking at that really quick, if anyone wants to do any shilling.
I just shilled though.
Well,
He did just
you
shill,
did
so
shill.
I
Well,
guess
do
that
we-
means it's my turn.
Well, yeah, go ahead, Tim. You got anything to show?
Twitch.tv/Storytellers Apprentice. Twitter is Storytellers AP2. I hope to do some streaming again, but as these two said earlier, I'm working on stuff, so I'm kind of my schedule is.
You have a job now.
Yeah,
I have a job. I have a year.
Oh, wait a minute. Sensuna says they have a question.
Uh,
All right, Sen. We're
late to the party as always. What's up, Sen?
Yeah.
Do we have any YouTube streams like the great one on Sunday coming up? Not that I'm aware of. I don't think we have anything scheduled.
Nothing is scheduled,
but I do have something scheduled.
Ooh, okay. Yes, you do.
A week from Saturday, it will be another has-been signing on my channel. So that'll be Saturday and Sunday to get all that done. Or just Saturday if there's not a ton. But yes. Also, Draco Shell.
Yes,
Yep.
the Draco
Let me
shield.
go grab the link.
Yeah, we are. So the Draco family, that's for those of you who watch Flashbang, that's Moira Draco, Lord Bareback, and Drthulu, who are a real-life family, mother and her two sons, are in a bit of a rough spot right now. They're in a situation that they really need to get out of. And so we're doing a fundraiser to get them the funds to get out of that situation. And as of right now, it's about halfway there. It's at the halfway point,
which is good.
So we just need to see if we can push it the rest of the way. So if you, obviously take care of yourselves, but if you have a opportunity to maybe throw a little in extra for them, be much appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
And tomorrow night, of course, Friday Night Flashbang. I'm assuming we're getting another qualifier match for the Multivania.
You will. It's going to be one that I think will have people talking.
Ooh. And of course, for myself here at twitch.tv, Dr. _ Caliban, Dr. _ Caliban. Monday, we are continuing our playthrough of Evil Genius 2 World Domination, where we spend time both talking about, playing the game, and then Tim and I usually talk about pop culture and comic book stuff, because that's just the kind of nerds we are.
Hey, it's Flashbang's Tiki the Troll here to remind you to pay that toll. How, you may be asking? Ha! Easy. Just be sure to give us a like, throw down a comment, and hit that subscribe button. And we'll be seeing you around for the, next payment.